from the outbound powered flyby. That outbound powered flyby is targeted for 7:44 a.m. Eastern Time. We're happy to have brought you this extended coverage this morning, and for now, I'm going to pass it off to my colleague, Sandra Jones, to take you all the way through outbound powered flyby.
Now let's look at Zohar. This is a continuation of this morning's live coverage from NASA's website of the Orion capsule flyby very close to the moon. And we'll see it's all a ritual because the mannequins they have in the payload is called Zohar. So we're going to look up Zohar. And it gives proof that this is a ritual because the Zohar is a book of magic from the Kabbalist practice, mystical practice of Zohar. And as you can see here, it says Zohar it means splendor or radiance.
Outbound powered flyby of Orion now scheduled for 53 minutes and 30 seconds from now. Orion is already in the moon's sphere of influence.
Sphere of influence?
Yesterday, the team completed a successful outbound trajectory correction burn. This burn helps set us up for the OPF burn, again coming up in about 53 minutes from now.
Gotta let it burn. Okay, let's get back more to the Zohar.
At the time of the OPF burn, Orion will be 328 statute miles above the moon. And then just a short time from then, Orion will complete its closest approach to the moon at 81 miles above the lunar surface. Now, during this time, we will not have signal with Orion because it will be traveling behind the backside of the moon. However, we expect to regain communications once Orion swings back around to the other side and is back on the deep space network.
Yes. Remember, the name for the moon is Yah in Hebrew. Yah.
The outbound powered flyby will send Orion close enough to the lunar surface to leverage the moon's gravitational force and swing the spacecraft once around the moon toward entry into what we call a distant retrograde orbit. Following this, Orion will remain in the distant retrograde orbit for one long elliptical orbit around the moon, lasting about 6 days. Now, this orbit is called distant due to the high altitude from the moon. It's about 40,000 miles past the moon in its orbit, which is actually 30,000 miles farther than the previous record set during Apollo 13. And this will be the farthest in space any spacecraft built for humans will have ever flown. This orbit is also called retrograde because Orion will be traveling around the moon opposite the direction the moon travels around the Earth.
We're also going to shout out a cover done for the Astronaut song by Jen from BTS because it was also released 10/28, and we showed all the symbolism for that. So here we have Ashrita covering that, while at the same time we're looking at the Artemis close flyby of the moon. We have to observe this ritual that's happening so we can know how it's going to impact our lives. And maybe help us win the lottery. Who knows? So let's look at more of this Zohar, because Zohar is one of the mannequins on the payload of this Artemis close by mission of the moon. Yah. the lunar. This is kind of making me nervous because we've been showing that Aliyah, which is actually the rite of return, and her passing right before 9/11, I always suspected that it's a call out to move back to this place that they call Zion. That's what Aliyah stands for on coded messaging. Don't mess with the Zohar. This is deep magic. If it's happening right now above our heads towards our moon. This discovery was first here on Zam Goods. Never saw it anywhere else. Look at these numbers. 280,000 miles. Right here it says it. And then let's look at the Powerball numbers, okay? This is just from this Saturday. You see, I'm not making this up. Nobody else is doing this for me. I'm doing this on my own. As simple as possible. What number do we have here? 28. See the 28? When was this song, the astronaut, released? On the 28th, along with Lift Me Up. When was Chadwick Boseman's last day on Earth? 8/28. August 28th, 2020. There's this show called Manifest that just out of nowhere had its 4th season on Netflix return. Like nobody knew it was going to happen, but it happened right around Artemis being deployed on the 16th. 1116. And then the flight number of this Manifest airplane that took off is 828. Okay? The Powerball supposed to be random, but had consecutive numbers, 62, 63, and 64. The Powerball was 10. PB stands for Saturn. Indirectly, it means plumbus, which is lead. Lead is an alchemical symbol, metal, that's supposed to be able to turn right into gold. So, it sounds like in terms of a Christ ritual, Christ means gold, okay? It means it's derived from the word for gold and oil. Okay, Messiah, to have the Messiah come back, which is the Christ, which is who's supposed to be back soon, according to Chabad Lubavitch, the sect of Judaism. They believe the Messiah has come. I live in New York. They're out in the streets talking about how he's here. Messiah is here. That's the chant they give. The Messiah is here. So Messiah being Christ, being gold, or the golden child, returning or coming, and all these things are related to it. Like you can see through the numbers, you can see through the rituals, through the music, through the movies, through the news. Look at the Powerball amount the other day was 929. Upside down, that's 626, which is 666. And if you looked at the launch for Artemis, they showed all these 666. I mean, all over the screen. So that's the mark of the beast, they say. It's the mark of time. And nobody could buy or sell unless you have the mark. But 666, I found, also has to do with the time 1010, the angle of 120 degrees. And actually, even with these consecutive numbers, you have the 6, 2, 6, 3, 6 for count. And it's been 22 days since the launch. Sorry, 22 days since the music was released. And we know 22 and 23 is related to the chromosomes. We have 22 chromosomes in each of us in our cells, if you have a normal. We have Andrew singing acoustic cover of Gin. Okay, back to what I was doing. Okay. We were here. So we see the 666 count and the Powerball numbers, as well as the takeoff of Artemis launch the other day. They had the word offset. So offset and takeoff have to do with this rocket science. And if we get close here, we can see that 22 days have transpired since the songs were released, and the Powerball numbers were drawn on Friday. And between the day that is Offset's birthday, it's going to be 47 days. We know these numbers are actually Kabbalistic numbers, very important numbers in Kabbalah. The 22 has to do with the master number, the plan, that a master plan is going to happen. We saw 22 all over Aaliyah. She died at 22. She was 222 days being 22. The release of almost all her music, from Romeo Must Die, Try Again, to the movie Romeo Must Die, to the movie of the release of Queen of the Damned, were all on the 22nd of the month. 3/22 exactly for Romeo Must Die, which is, we know, the Kabbalistic number as well as Skull and Bones number, 3/22. So big things happen with the 22. So we have to look more at that show Manifest. I was looking at this show for, when it first came out. But now that I know all the things that I'm seeing happening, I'm pretty nervous to watch it. And it takes place in New York City, where I live. And as we know, this song that you're hearing now is being covered, that Jen released, was actually found in Rihanna's movie that she did in 2015. Well, the movie she was in is not her movie, as far as I know. If she's the mastermind behind all this, that would be awesome.
If you're just joining us, we're bringing you live coverage of today's upcoming outbound powered flyby burn, which will slingshot us around the backside of the moon. You are continuing to get views of the moon in real time here on your screen from a solar array wing camera on board Orion.
But sometimes they tell us it's an animation, so I don't know.
Maneuvering system, or OMS engine. This engine has been used several times throughout Orion's 5-day journey to the moon. This is that large engine located on the bottom of the service module.
What's the name of it?
And the engine can provide 6,000 pounds of thrust.
Thrust. I said thrust.
Today's burn will last 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but the burn can be used for burns lasting up to 16 minutes in length.
What does this burn mean? What are they going to be burning in us? Because as above, so below.
Orion is a repurposed space shuttle orbital maneuvering system engine that has flown in space before. It flew on 19 space shuttle flights, beginning with STS-41G in October of 1984 and ending with STS-112 in October of 2002. Now, the OMS engine is not the only engine on board the Orion spacecraft. There are also 8
are they
auxiliary
serious?
engines.
Like
These are located on the bottom of the service module as well.
See, this is spiritual. This is a spiritual attack because they're calling it warfare.
To provide trajectory corrections and as a backup to the main engine. And each engine provides about 100 pounds of thrust.
I mean, I know scientifically ohm has to do with how they measure electricity
in total, there
or something.
Are 33 engines aboard
but why is it called ohm?
On your screen, you are
like the chant you do when you meditate?
Planet Earth.
Om. You see the screen turn blue, okay. See, this is an animation.
To regain those videos and imagery here shortly, but
it doesn't look different.
A telemetry-driven animation of Orion and its location. As you can see here on your screen, speed continuing to pick up, now at 1,369 miles per hour. Over 232,000 miles from home, but only 2,000 miles away from the moon.
That's it?
Again,
wow,
the closest
so
approach
close.
will be just over 80 miles above the lunar surface, continuing to close in on the backside of the moon.
The backside, wow. The backside. They're always showing backsides in so many things. Like moon, when you moon somebody, you show them your backside. Whoa.
Of 1984 and ending with STS-112. It's director Rick LeBrode who is leading.
I can't believe you just did that. I don't even know if I recorded the part I was trying to record, Nafi.
Sitting next to him is another patrol this morning.
Stop it. Houston.
Sitting next to him is another flight director, Zeb Scoville. We'll have the opportunity to speak with
Scoville,
here
you know, Scoville is
about the upcoming
the scale of hot sauce. The Scoville scale for hot sauce, if you ever look at the Hot Wings show. That little naughty baby. What happened to what I was listening to?
Leverage toward Miss Orion will remain in the distant.
See what I have to work with here?
The return powered flyby splashed down in the Pacific Ocean on December 11th. Ahead of a splashdown and put it on the trajectory to
the flyby. Wait, what?
Following
Orion
this,
will
perform a similar maneuver called the return powered flyby, which will put it on the trajectory to return back to Earth ahead of a splashdown in the Pacific Ocean on December 11th.
See, 12-11. So that 12-12, it will be back. Wow, that was... You gotta love the kids. They're so cute. He took me right off track. Let's see where we are. Or maybe right on track, because you know what? Every time he does something naughty, it usually means something.
For screen, you're continuing to get a live view of the moon, used to provide trajectory corrections and as a backup to the main engine.
So never get too mad at your kids.
Engine provides about
it's like that Matilda movie. She's trying to show her parents all these great miracles and they're just like not paying attention. They just want to look at TV. So I'm going to try not to do that. Anyway, this is, they say, the telemetry-driven animation.
Where Flight Director Rick LeBrode will pull the team here in Mission Control ahead of today's upcoming outbound powered flyby burn.
Yeah, this is a...
Flight Director Rick LeBrode, who is leading the team here in Mission Control this morning.
Oh, it's not a woman.
Sitting next to him is another Flight Director, Zeb Scoville. We'll have the opportunity to speak with Zeb here in just a few minutes about the upcoming burn.
What happened to your eye? Keep your eye on the ball. Be careful, whatever you're doing, okay? Okay.
Exited on its destination for this particular burn, the backside of the moon. The outbound powered flyby is the goal of today's operation. This outbound powered flyby will send Orion close enough to the lunar surface to leverage the moon's gravitational force and swing the spacecraft once around the moon toward entry into distant retrograde orbit.
I hope it doesn't crash into the moon like they did that this year.
Remain in the distant retrograde orbit for one long elliptical orbit.
If anybody's looking out at the nighttime sky, just keep your eye out on the moon. Make sure they don't crash
Orion
anything.
will perform a similar maneuver called the return-powered flyby, which will put it on the trajectory to return back to Earth ahead of a splashdown.
Remember, whenever they go up to the moon and come back down is when they go through another dimension. I show this over and over. And they come back down. They come through another dimension, different time.
Now, the first time a NASA...
This isn't what I ordered. I like to discuss birth.
Back to the Powerball. Some more significance. And anybody, please, everybody add comments. Your comments are always on point and have something to do with either our personal lives or what's going on. It's invaluable. We're doing this together. Okay, so the other significance of the Powerball, which we say is PB, lead, and it's 10. 10 is X. 10 is the X chromosome. Also, the 23 chromosomes that we have from each parent has one chromosome in the 23 position on the map. That really determines our sexuality. So the one from our mother is always going to be X. And the one from our father can be X or Y. And again, that's in the 23 position of our chromosomes. We have 46 altogether.
A, B, C, D, E, F,
Okay, we'll conclude this video at this point and try to get back for that live burn they're going to do in a couple of minutes.
I'm stuck.
So long.